the Airway Clinical Research Center at UCSF.
We have a very exciting program of research here in the Pulmonary Division at UCSF. In the groups affiliated with the Airway Clinical Research Center, or ACRC, we have nearly 20 scientists working on multiple projects related to understanding and developing better therapies for asthma, COPD, and cystic fibrosis. None of this research would be possible without the samples we receive from the ACRC. They truly are an amazing resource for us. I want to tell you about just a couple of these research projects today that illustrate the different types of work we are doing here. The first type of research we perform is to try and understand the mechanism of the disease better. Through experiments and analyzing clinical samples, we try to understand why and how the disease occurs. The more we understand, the better we can treat and think of new therapies. One good example of this is in our work on asthma. We are now beginning to understand that asthma is a complex disease that has different phenotypes or observable traits, and we can study some of these by looking at people's genes. When someone gives us a sputum sample at the ACRC, we will often isolate the cells and extract genomic material called RNA from them. Using this RNA, we can investigate the relative amounts of genes that may be involved in asthma. We analyze this using a PCR machine. It's analyzing how much of a gene is expressed in different samples, with hundreds of samples on each little plate. Using this technique and examining lots of individuals at once, we can look for patterns in the genes and compare these to clinical information that comes from the questions and tests the coordinators perform during the visits to the ACRC. Using this information, we can identify genes that may play a role in asthma and genes that may determine how people respond to different medicines. The samples we receive from the ACRC allow us to learn so much more about the diseases we are studying and help us try to develop new therapies. Designing new therapies is something else the samples from the ACRC can help with. Many people with lung disease make too much mucus, and there are few treatments available. Using samples from the ACRC, we are testing novel drugs that may help thin this mucus and clear it from the lungs. We test this using a rheometer. It measures how thick the mucus is. We can add our novel drugs into the mucus, and the machine will tell us if the mucus changes. This work is very exciting. We hope that soon one of the drugs we are testing here could be prescribed in the clinic and be helping patients. So by giving samples to the ACRC, you could be helping develop the next generation of life-saving drugs for airway disease. PCR studies of genes and drug studies in mucus are two examples of the exciting research we perform here at the ACRC that we hope will lead to more personalized medicine and better treatments for people with airway disease. Thank you for supporting our research.